We all face those moments where life feels, well, like a real challenge.
Oh, absolutely. Navigating tough situations, relationship stuff, it's universal.
Yeah. Or just trying to figure out what's next. And, when those times hit, we tend to react in different ways.
True. Some people power through alone, others look for help.
Or sometimes maybe just withdraw a bit.
Exactly. It's fascinating how varied our responses are. Our past shapes us, but so does our understanding of ourselves right now.
Precisely. And that's what we're diving into today. We're looking at a really interesting practical tool for this. It's an interactive book by Sarah Mamdouh called AACA, which translates to I'm fine.
Right, and the subtitle is quite descriptive, an interactive book for self-recovery and future planning from the author's experiences in helping individuals achieve self-recovery over the years.
What really grabbed me is that interactive part.
It's not just reading, it gets you doing the work of self-exploration.
Totally. It covers a whole range of topics, all aimed at boosting self-awareness and helping you sort of map out your future.
And it's structured around these, core questions.
Yeah, sections like who, when, where, how, and why. It's like a guided journey inward.
Those fundamental questions, they're a really powerful framework for looking at yourself. It pushes for a deeper understanding.
So our mission with this deep dive is to pull out some key insights from Ellen to help you, the listener, maybe get a clearer view of yourself, perhaps find some direction.
Sounds great.
And what I found really compelling is how it applies management and planning ideas, the stuff businesses use to your personal life.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it basically frames you as the most important project you'll ever manage.
I like that. Applying that kind of deliberate, strategic thinking to personal growth, that can be really empowering.
Definitely. And the book kicks off with this really clever metaphor. Rock, paper, scissors.
Ah, okay. How does that work in this context?
Well, a paper represents self-reflection, that kind of thoughtful look inwards. Rock is like those impulsive, sometimes harsh reactions we might have.
Got it. And scissors.
Scissors stands for self-harm in its various forms.
Wow. Okay.
And the book's core idea, really, is that paper, that self-discovery piece, is the most effective way through life's challenges.
So understanding ourselves helps us avoid those more destructive reactions, the rock or the scissors.
Exactly. Knowing your patterns, your triggers, it lets you choose more consciously.
Makes sense.
And because it is interactive, it's packed with prompts, questions, diagrams to draw, tables to fill out, all designed to get you actively involved.
That active part is so crucial, isn't it? It goes beyond just taking in information.
Right. We can't cover every single exercise today, obviously, but we'll definitely touch on some of the key reflective moments.
Good. It encourages a deeper engagement with your own thoughts, your feelings.
So yeah, in this deep dive, we'll explore how I Can guides you to understand where you are now, maybe make peace with the past, and plan for the future, all through self-love, self-understanding, and positive thinking.
Sounds like a valuable journey. Where do we start?
Okay, let's unpack that first big question the book tackles. Who are you?
Right into the deep end. It's all about self-discovery from the get-go.
It really is. It's not just, casually knowing yourself. It's presented as active work, ongoing growth. And one of the first things it asks is, who are you in your mirror? Describe yourself in detail from your point of view.
And it gets specific, right? Asking about physical traits.
Yeah, height, weight, eye color, hair color, skin color, those kinds of things.
That's an interesting place to start, focusing on the physical self-image first, like establishing a baseline.
And then it follows up by asking if you're at peace with that physical appearance.
Which encourages that deeper self-acceptance, moving beyond just the surface.
Which naturally leads into thinking about how others see you, and maybe more importantly, how much weight you give those opinions.
The external versus internal view.
Exactly. It touches on that tendency we sometimes have to strive for this perfect image. It actually asks, who seems perfect in your opinion, and why?
That's so relevant today, with social media and everything. Examining our ideas of perfect is really important. We can hold ourselves to some pretty unrealistic standards.
Totally. And then it drills down to the absolute core. Do you love yourself?
Wow.
And it specifies yourself, not just your appearance.
This distinction is key.
Right. And it encourages you to just write down the reasons, honestly, no overthinking.
That directness.
Right.
It forces a really honest self-check, doesn't it? Valuing your whole self, flaws and all.
Okay, so building on that foundation of identity, the book then moves towards understanding your personality patterns.
Right. Looking at how you typically behave, think, feel.
Exactly. It offers these lists of traits, things like leader, thinker, independent,
Smart,
diplomat,
fighter, innovator, logical, open-minded,
idealist, sensitive, artist, observant.
cooperative, enthusiastic, realistic, imaginative. Quite a range.
Yeah, and the idea isn't to force yourself into one category, but to see which traits resonate most consistently for you.
And it acknowledges that we can have conflicting traits too, right?
Absolutely. The point isn't finding a perfect label, but recognizing the characteristics that regularly show up in how you act and react.
And crucially, the book emphasizes that personality isn't fixed. It can change, evolve.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is so important. This exercise is more like a snapshot, a starting point for becoming more self-aware.
Which brings us to self-awareness itself. How does the book define that?
Pretty straightforwardly.
Yeah.
The ability to understand your own feelings, thoughts, and behaviors. And it highlights how vital that is for mental health.
Makes sense. It's foundational. Does it offer tips for building it?
It does. Practical things like observing your thoughts and feelings without immediate judgment, paying attention to your body's signals,
Physical responses.
and actually communicating with others about what's going on inside you. Actionable stuff.
Good. Things you can actually practice.
Then it prompts you to think about how your personality might have shifted over, say, the last 5 years.
Oh, that's insightful. Looking at the evolution.
Yeah, and it asks things like, what are your most important qualities now? What traits do you maybe want to change? And what qualities do you want to develop?
So it's dynamic. It's not just here's who I am, but here's who I am and here's who I'm potentially becoming.
Exactly that. Okay, so you've done some internal work. Then the book shifts focus outward to the people around you. Relationships.
Ah, a huge factor in our lives.
Definitely. The core idea here is that the people in your close circle are, in a way, an extension of you, and they have a big impact.
On our daily lives, our behavior, motivation, all of it.
Right. The book really emphasizes how relationships affect our mental and emotional health, even professional success and personal growth.
Because good relationships offer support, different viewpoints, chances to learn.
Precisely, which is why it stresses being mindful about who you let into that inner circle.
What kind of advice does it give for choosing that circle?
It suggests looking for people who share your core values, being willing to actually invest time and effort,
Takes work, yeah.
and importantly, being your authentic self in those relationships. Don't try to be someone you're not.
Good advice. And it talks about maintaining them too.
Yes, building, maintaining, developing relationships. It's presented as an ongoing thing. Requires investment, honesty, and forgiveness too.
That capacity for forgiveness is often overlooked, but so important.
It really is. There's even a prompt to visually map your relationships. Draw a circle, put yourself in it, then place the important people relative to you.
Oh, like a relationship map. What can you learn from doing that?
I think it can be really revealing. You might see visually who feels close, who feels distant, maybe highlight where you're putting energy or where there's an imbalance.
Yeah, I can see how that visual could spark some insights.
And the book connects this understanding of relationships back to self-recovery.
How so?
It argues that real self-recovery involves self-awareness, understanding your environment, including the people in it, and the nature of those connections. It all loops back to self-reflection.
Got it. So understanding your external world helps clarify your internal one.
Exactly. And the ultimate aim is cultivating self-love, understanding, acceptance, partly by choosing positive thinking and letting go of negative patterns that might be messing with your relationships.
Creating a more supportive world, both inside and out.
Right. Now, when it comes to figuring out if a relationship is actually healthy, the book offers some indicators.
Like what? What should you look for?
Things like trust, obviously,
Mm.
honest, open communication, feeling appreciated, emotional stability in the people involved, and that sense of mutual support. But it does add a little caution that really assessing relationships takes time, and you need to trust your gut feeling too.
Good point. It's not always black and white. These indicators are helpful guides, though. Reminders of what a healthy connection looks like. Respect, honesty, care.
For sure. And then it poses some direct questions for you to consider. Who are the individuals you actually enjoy being around? And why?
Focusing on the positive connections.
Yeah, and then who are those you'd like to reconnect with? Why? And crucially, how can you revive those relationships?
I like that how part. It moves it from just wishing to potential action. Thinking proactively about the relationships you value.
Exactly. But let's be real, not all interactions are positive, right?
Unfortunately, no.
So the book tackles that too. Dealing with offenses and ending harmful relationships. Starts with how to handle personal offenses.
Okay, what's the advice there?
First steps are about managing your own reaction. Take a breath, relax, try to think positively. Maybe the other person has their own stuff going on.
Shifting perspective can help de-escalate things internally.
Right. Then consider if direct, calm communication might help you understand what happened.
Instead of just reacting.
Yeah. Avoid getting sucked into negativity. Try to stay neutral if you can. And don't be afraid to seek support if it's really getting to you.
Makes sense. And it probably depends a lot on the situation and who the person is.
Absolutely. The book makes that point. The best approach varies. Then it asks you point blank, who offends you and how?
Getting you to identify patterns again. Who pushes your buttons and how? That awareness is key for setting boundaries later.
Exactly. Now, for more serious, harmful relationships, it gets into self-defense strategies.
Okay, physical self-defense.
That's mentioned as one possibility, yeah, like considering training. But it also stresses building self-confidence, treating others respectfully, while still being assertive about your own needs.
That balance can be tricky. Respectful but firm.
Totally. Communicating feelings clearly, using constructive dialogue if possible, and leaning on trusted people or professionals for support.
And it probably reminds you that this takes practice.
It does. It says defending yourself is a skill, needs practice, patience. It acknowledges it's not always easy, especially if there's a difficult history there.
That's an important acknowledgement.
And then the really tough one, ending relationships with harmful people.
Yeah, that's often incredibly difficult, even when necessary.
The book acknowledges that complexity, the difficult emotions involved, but frames it as sometimes essential for your mental and emotional well-being.
What kind of practical advice does it offer for ending things safely?
Several points. Prepare yourself mentally first. Be firm and clear in your decision. Prioritize your safety. Maybe meet in public. Have someone trusted nearby. Involve police if necessary.
Safety first, absolutely.
Seek support from friends or professionals. Maybe write a letter just to clarify your own reasons, even if you don't send it.
That can be helpful for processing.
Crucially, don't backtrack. Stick to your decision and really focus on self-care during and after.
That's vital. It's often a draining process.
Yeah. And similar to the positive relationship map, it asks you to draw a circle of people who are psychologically draining and where you stand with them.
Ooh, the flip side. That could be very revealing too.
Followed by, what relationships do you want to remove from your life and why?
Really making you evaluate the emotional cost. Identifying those energy drains is so important for self-preservation, for setting those boundaries.
Which leads us to this really introspective, maybe uncomfortable question the book throws out there. Are you the villain?
Wow. Okay. That's a heavy one.
It is. And the book immediately says, look, this is complex, it's personal, depends on your beliefs, on perspective.
Does it offer any comfort?
Kind of. It suggests that someone who's truly acting like a villain probably wouldn't even be asking themselves this question.
That's actually quite reassuring in a way. If you're worried about it, maybe you're not.
Perhaps. It gives you things to consider, though, for an honest answer. What were your intentions? What were the actual consequences of your actions on others? What were the circumstances?
So looking at intent, impact, and context.
Right. And it suggests steps for self-assessment. Review your actions and their impact. Really listen to feedback from others while still using your judgment about it.
And seek professional help if needed.
Yes, especially if you're really struggling with negative self-perceptions.
That's responsible advice.
And then it just asks directly, are you a villainous person? Do you have a bad temper or hidden motives to harm someone? A real moment for honest self-check.
That directness again. Confronting maybe, but necessary for genuine self-awareness and taking responsibility for how we affect others.
Definitely. Okay, finally, this whole section about understanding ourselves and our interactions, the book covers coping with psychological stress.
Essential topic. What strategies does it list?
A good range. Simple but effective things like deep, slow breathing exercises.
Always a good starting point.
Regular physical activity, getting organized with time management and planning.
Practical life skills that reduce stress.
Relaxation techniques like meditation or yoga. Really prioritizing self-care and focusing on mental health.
Making it a conscious priority.
Communicating with others, not isolating yourself. And making time for hobbies, things you actually enjoy.
It's a pretty holistic approach, isn't it? Addressing mind, body, schedule, social connection, and enjoyment.
It really is. So wow, that's quite a deep dive just into the who part of...
Yeah, covering self-perception, personality, relationships, conflict, even that villain question and stress management.
It's a really thorough examination of yourself and your place in the world, prompted by the book.
It definitely lays some critical groundwork for what comes next in the book, the self-recovery and future planning parts.
Exactly. And that's just the start. The book moves on to when, looking at time management, priorities.
We'll have to save that for another time, perhaps.
Definitely. But hopefully this gives everyone a good feel for the thoughtful, really engaging approach of IE.
What stands out to me is how practical it is. It combines these deep questions with actual steps you can take, frameworks for thinking it through.
Right. It's about actively doing the work of understanding and improving yourself, not just, thinking about it vaguely.
Absolutely. That active engagement is key.
And hopefully it sparks some reflections for you, our listener, too. We've really only scratched the surface here.
For sure. If this resonates, exploring the book itself could be really valuable.
Yeah, we encourage you to mull over some of these questions. The interactive parts, the writing, the drawing, they can unlock insights in a way that just reading might not.
That process of externalizing your thoughts is powerful.
So as we wrap up this exploration of the Who from Sarah Mamdouh's Erasi, maybe here's something to leave you with.
Okay.
The power to understand yourself, to shape your future. It really does lie within you. So what's one small, maybe intentional step you could take today to turn the page and start writing that next chapter?